Welcome back to the ProtoCol Playbook, decisions that separate a study your reviewers love from one they quietly rip apart. Last time, we picked your study design in 3 questions. Today, the variable you forgot to put in your model and the one you put in that you shouldn't have. Confounding. You controlled for age, sex, and BMI. Your supervisor nodded. Your analysis looked clean. Your p-value came in under 0.05. Everyone smiled. Your result might still be wrong, because of a variable you never thought to include. That's confounding. And it's the single most common reason a reviewer tears apart an otherwise solid observational study. Not your sample size, not your statistical test, your adjustment strategy. Get this wrong and a significant result tells you something, but not the something you think. Let's fix that. First, what is a confounder, really? A confounder is a variable that influences both your exposure and your outcome. If you don't account for it, your result reflects the confounder's effect, not your interventions. Classic example. You see in your data that coffee drinkers have higher rates of lung cancer. Conclusion: coffee causes lung cancer. Except, smokers drink more coffee than non-smokers, and smokers get lung cancer. Smoking confounds the relationship. Adjust for smoking, and the coffee cancer association disappears. Good. So far, so simple. Adjust for confounders. But here's where most junior researchers get into real trouble. Not every variable you adjust for is a confounder. Some are mediators, some are colliders, and the 3 demand opposite handling. Let me show you each one. Mediator. A mediator sits on the causal pathway between your exposure and your outcome. Your exposure causes the mediator causes the outcome. Example, you're testing a new blood pressure drug for stroke prevention. The drug lowers blood pressure. Lower blood pressure prevents strokes. Blood pressure is a mediator. If you adjust for blood pressure in your regression, you've blocked the very effect you're trying to measure. Your drug looks like it does nothing. You can erase a real effect by adjusting for the wrong variable. Collider. A collider is a variable that's caused by both your exposure and your outcome. 2 arrows point in, none point out. And adjusting for one opens a backdoor path that didn't exist before. Example, the famous low birth weight paradox. In babies born to mothers who smoke, low birth weight predicts higher mortality. Same as in any population. Fine, but if you stratify, look only at low birth weight babies. Maternal smoking suddenly looks protective against infant mortality. Like cigarettes are good for premature babies. They're not. Low birth weight is a collider, caused by both maternal smoking and other things that increase mortality. Conditioning on it creates a spurious correlation. Adjust for the wrong variable, and you don't reduce bias, you manufacture it. So how do you tell which variable is which? You draw a DAG, a directed acyclic graph. Variables are nodes. Causal arrows connect them. You make your assumptions visible, and a few simple rules tell you exactly what to adjust for. Free tools like Dagity let you build one in your browser in 5 minutes. Sketch on paper first. Formalize later. 4 instincts to unlearn. Anti-pattern 1, the kitchen sink regression. More controls equal less bias. No. Throwing every variable into your model can adjust for confounders and mediators and colliders simultaneously. The biases stack, they don't cancel. Anti-pattern 2, adjusting for mediators. It happens constantly with biomarkers. You measure inflammation as part of your panel, then put it in the regression as a control, but it sits between your exposure and your outcome. If your variable is downstream of your exposure, it is not a confounder. Anti-pattern 3, ignoring colliders. Selection bias is collider bias hiding. If your sample selects on something caused by both exposure and outcome, you've already conditioned on a collider before you typed your first line of code. Anti-pattern 4, skipping the DAG entirely. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't need a diagram. If you can't draw it, your adjustment strategy is a guess. Recap in one breath. Every variable in your model is one of 3 things. Confounder, adjust. Mediator, leave alone. Collider, definitely leave alone. If you can't classify every variable in your analysis, you don't have an adjustment strategy. You have a hope. Draw the DAG. Even a sketch on the back of a notebook beats no DAG at all. This is exactly what ProtoCol does. It builds the DAG from your study design, classifies each variable, and tells you which to adjust for and which to leave alone before you run a single regression. Start free at protocol.med. One mention, you earn the value first. Next time on the playbook, your paper's method section has a checklist: equator, consort, strobe, prisma. And if you don't know which one applies to you, your reviewer's first comment is already written. Until then, sketch the arrows. See you in the next one.